going to talk about inexpensive ways to promote your shop. And one of those ways is actually reviewing search engine optimization, or SEO. This is kind of what we all have to answer to these days living on the interweb. So we're going to kind of go over the basics of that. We're also going to do a little bit of coverage of your shop's branding. We're going to talk about authenticity and finding your community. We'll talk a little bit about social media platforms that you can use, as well as the option of using newsletters. And then, of course, answer any questions that you may have. So before we waste any more time, let's jump right on in. I actually would like to start with your shop's admin. So I'm going to log into a big Cartel shop admin and talk a little bit about SEO. So there are a few ways that you can boost your rankings and search results by a few really cheap, inexpensive, essentially free ways in your shop. The first I'd like to call attention to is your shop profile here. If you head to your Big Cartel admin and go to the account page, you'll see right here at the top is your shop's profile. Now up here, you'll see that I have my shop profile explaining what I'm selling. Now let's say I'm selling jewelry in this shop. So one way for us to kind of boost those search engine optimization results is to use really clear, concise language about what you can find in my shop. So this shop, let's say we sell handmade items. They're one of a kind. We sell necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and they're made of recycled gold and brass, and they're also made in the USA. So I'm using words that a customer would type into their search engine of choice, and this is what Google or whatever search engine they're using will scrape the internet and spit this result out higher up in the rankings. So people who are searching for a certain thing, and if you happen to have it, there it is. Another thing that you can use to increase search engine optimization is in your product descriptions. So let's hop over to a product here. This is a sweatshirt. So I'm selling apparel in my shop. So everything about this sweatshirt, I want to be really descriptive about. And again, thinking kind of like a search engine, what would I want someone who is searching for my items to enter into that search bar and this to be pulled back up. So here we have screen printed sweatshirts. They're also made in the USA. I also talk about, the fiber content, that 50-50 cotton poly blend. Let's say we've got customers that really don't want that shrinkage of 100% cotton. Anything that would help lead my shoppers to my shop, I'm going to be using those words. So to help increase that search engine optimization, you're going to want to use really clear, concise language in your shop description as well as in your products. One other thing that can really help with search engine optimization is to make sure your custom domain is set up correctly if you are on a paid plan and you're using a custom domain. If your custom domain happens to be redirecting too many times, that can also drop you in the rankings, so it's always a good thing to check that. We have some custom domains set up videos on our YouTube page that Mary can link to. Or if you're having any trouble with that setup, please feel free to reach out to us at support and we can help you with that as well. One other thing that I also wanted to bring your attention to kind of promote your shop is with the discount code option. Any of our paid plans, you have this option. And one of the ways I like to think about this is once you've had someone make a purchase in your shop, the chances of that person making a purchase again are much greater than just someone, searching for your shop off the street. So you want to continue cultivating and building that relationship with your customers. And a really great way to do that is with loyalty discount codes or friends and family discount codes that they can pass along elsewhere. All right, so I want to talk just a little bit about branding. Now, branding is the name of your shop, who you are, the community that you associate with. This is something that you can really spend a lot of time thinking about, and that's a good thing because essentially your brand is, this heart and soul of your product. So for instance, I used to sell vintage clothing online and I loved it, but I wanted to find a way to differentiate myself from all the other, vintage sellers online at the time. So I first of all made sure that I was clear about the eras that I sold my vintage clothing from. So I sold, clothing from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And I also wanted to really promote that I was helping kind of fight fast fashion and keeping, clothes out of, landfills, helping reducing, reusing, and recycling. So that was a really big piece of my brand and what I put out there. So I made sure whenever I posted a new item, I always had a little snippet about, by purchasing this item, my customers were helping, reduce landfill space, reusing resources, and helping the environment. So let's say, you are a makeup artist and all of your line is vegan and you use only 100% natural ingredients. Double down on that, figure out what the heart and soul of your makeup brand is. If you use really bold, color palettes, use that to sell your brand. If you're an artist, talk about, the people that you draw influence from or the mediums that you use. Let's say you're only a fiber artist and that's where you can really link with your community. So branding really is, we could go on. This is a whole other class, honestly, and we actually probably should have a branding class in the future. Tune in for that. But along with branding is also finding your voice and who you are. So many people are so interested in the maker, the person behind this brand, that sharing little bits and pieces of your process is a really great way to promote your shop as well. Also finding your community, finding people that are like-minded with you, selling similar things is a great way for you to get your word out. And it also helps with, promotion at fairs or art shows or, music shows, wherever you're performing. Having that support, people to bounce creative ideas off of, can also be really invigorating for you in the creative process. Okay, we are talking lots about branding, but we got to get on to how to get your name out there. So you've got the heart and soul of your shop, you've got your tagline, and this is how you're going to start getting it out into the interwebs for people to find you and purchase your items. So social media. We have to talk about that. And the first thing that I wanted to direct your attention to, if you are just kind of dipping your toes into the social media promotion world, you should check out our blog. blog.bigcartel.com, especially the promote tag, is a great way for you to really get your feet wet and figure out, what areas you want to really double down on. And even like what different platforms you want to use. We have articles and posts about every social media platform under the sun, getting started with, a newsletter list, how to battle anxiety about sharing your art or your craft online, or just the very, very basics. If you really want to get started, this is a great resource for you. Now, moving on to social media. The first and biggest one that I wanted to talk about today is Instagram. People are scrolling Instagram day and night, and it really has become a popular platform for sales as well. In the past few years, Instagram has also really beefed up its offerings with IGTV and Instagram stories. And so these are great ways for you to reach a younger audience. And especially if you have amazing product photography, if your art is really bright, colorful, vibrant, these are ways for you to share that really easily. And again, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and Instagram is definitely very visually centered. So if you have a demographic that's somewhat younger, if your photography is on point, this is something that you would really want to invest in. You can also upgrade your Instagram account to a business account, and you can start getting insights as to where people are clicking from, what posts did really well. You can start putting your energy into those kind of things further down the road if Instagram is the social media platform of your choice. Now, moving on, we have to talk about Facebook. Facebook has, I think at present, around 2 billion users. So that's a lot of people. And Facebook also, if you happen to have an older shopping base, people who need more links, more text with things that they are interested in buying, Facebook is the platform for you. This is a great way for you to get your product out there and not necessarily have to have super snazzy photography or anything like that, but you can simply link back to your shop, sharing like your logo, for example, and Facebook is a great way to do that. Here is our Facebook page, and this is also a great way if you happen to have a brick and mortar shop. You can put your physical address there. You also can share things that aren't necessarily, your art or your craft or your products, but this is a way to kind of build your aesthetic and, show your shoppers this is what you're stoked on, things that you really enjoy. So you can see we posted about songs we listen to, artists that we like, blog posts that we put up. Facebook is an amazing way for you to kind of reach out and do that. So on to another social media platform that has really shown its power in sales, people are using this social media platform to really purchase things, and that's Pinterest. I believe Pinterest is actually one of the social media platforms that has the highest spending per capita per user. So if, again, your photography is on point and you have a slightly older demographic, Pinterest really is the way for you to get your products out there. Now, what's also great about Pinterest is this is a great way for you to kind of create an aesthetic for your brand. Again, you don't necessarily just have to post items on Pinterest that are just your products. They could be things that fit your aesthetic or things that you find inspiring or invigorating as an artist or a creator. And also people in your community, you can help link to them and help boost them and support them. Again, back to that community piece where if you find your people, there are so many ways to really market your shop if need be. By utilizing the help from your friends. So what's great about Pinterest is that the overview page has everything from your latest pins. It also goes into your latest boards, which are collections of pins that you think kind of should live in the same room, same family. You can post videos on here, and you also can get great stats on activity followers and who you're following as well. So speaking a little bit about video, IGTV is a great way of getting your stuff out there, but YouTube is also a huge way, especially if you're a performing artist, to get your craft out there and link back to your Big Cartel page, to purchase merch or your albums. YouTube doesn't necessarily have to be your platform of choice if you're a performer, but it is a way for you to show people your process and your craft. And again, telling that story behind what you're selling is really what makes customers interested in you and wanting to click over and find out more about you and your products. So if you ever need a little help, there are so many social media platforms to choose from. And I definitely don't recommend trying to do it all. Like, it's absolutely impossible to do it well across all platforms. But you want to think again about your customer base, the age of the people you're selling to, what you feel would cater best to them. Also your own aesthetic, back to your products. Do they pop really well? Do they photograph well? This is something that you are going to want to think about before you really double down on one or two social media platforms. Once you've figured out the platform that's going to best serve you, platform or platforms, there are certain tools that you can use to kind of help, organize that. A lot of us are doing this as a side hustle, so we don't have time or the resources to hire someone to do this promotion for us. So it's on us. So instead of having to take time out of every single day to make posts or to promote your shop, you can use certain tools that you can schedule posts. And so this is a really great post here in our blog where it talks about ways to really double down on your social media use. And there's also some great apps that you can use, such as like Buffer, Social Rank, to really help you gauge not only your engagement, but you can essentially schedule posts for you throughout the week so that you aren't having to do that every single day. Okay, so I think we covered a really broad spectrum of social media, but there's one thing I did want to talk about because there is a movement of people who are kind of pulling away from social media. And that's understandable. In this day and age, we are being bombarded from all directions with information. And a lot of people have just checked out. No more Facebook, no more Instagram. So as a shop, how do you reach those folks? And we have an answer for that. There's actually been a great upsurgence of people signing up for email newsletters. This is curated information that you're sending out to your customers that they have 100% signed up for. It's not just scrolling through Instagram, through everything that's on a person's feed. It is you sending a curated email once a week, once a month, whatever you decide is best, to people that have visited your shop and have signed up. Now, Mailchimp is our favorite way to use that. It integrates really, really easily with Big Cartel shops, and you can use it for all sorts of store management options. But the thing that we love most about it is that it's a really easy, seamless way for you to get a newsletter out to your shoppers that have signed up for it. You can use previous shoppers before you sign up. You can have people sign up at checkout if that's something you'd like to do, if you're on a paid plan. And there's just a lot of options for you to really, again, curate your content and send it out to the people that have signed up for it. A couple ideas for great newsletters. I know the ones that I love to receive don't necessarily just focus on the shop's products or focus on you know, just that artist or, you know, that shop, but it's links that that shop finds inspiring. It's things that that shop has been reading. It's recipes, you know, that artist has been making, or a playlist that that artist has been really listening to and finding inspiring. All of these things are what I appreciate, because I'm getting to a little peek into that artist process or that artist's world. And I get that in my inbox, you know, every other week or every month. Okay, we have covered so very much. There are a couple things that I wanted to just mention before we go into some questions. The first thing is use of hashtags. Hashtags can really be a great way to promote your shop across multiple platforms. You can create your own hashtag, so people are like, you know, buzzing about your certain product or certain item, and that's the way that people can find your product if they're shopping on Instagram or even on Twitter. We didn't mention Twitter. Stay away from Twitter. It's the worst. No, I'm just kidding. You can use Twitter, but again, it's another platform that you need to use. And a lot of people are not necessarily using Twitter as much for shopping, but more for news and telling terrible jokes. So hashtags is something that you definitely would want to use on Instagram in your posts, so that people could find, you know, if you're a fiber artist, you would use the hashtag yarn, fiber art, knitter, knitting. And these are ways that once they start searching in the Instagram Explore page, they could be led to your shop. And let's see. Oh, discount codes again. Another great way if you are not using social media and solely just kind of doubling down on you know, your shoppers that have already shopped there, sending out those discount codes to people they know. Word of mouth is still a really, really powerful way to get people to your shop. So we covered so much, and we've got a couple minutes left. So Mary, is there anything that I've missed or anything I can address that we haven't hit in the chat?
I mean, you've covered so much. I think we've almost answered everything. There's a few questions here just about getting people interested in your website and signing up for a newsletter. And I think you covered that with like sharing with your family and friends and getting the word out and building community. But yeah, you did a great job.
Go on, thanks. No, I'm totally seeing, like Maggie, I see what you're saying. Oh, Kyle, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. So back to SEO and newsletter. Essentially, SEO, using clear, concise language in your shop description and your product descriptions, that is literally the foundation that you need to build SEO on. SEO also, the way that you kind of climb up those ranks, you want to double down on how many people are visiting your shop. So the way that search engines essentially let links climb up those ranks is essentially how many people are clicking those links and if they are a trusted source. So if you really want your shop to ascend those ranks, you're going to want to be sharing your shop URL, either your custom domain or your big Cartel URL, depending on what you're using, across all social media. You want to be sharing it in blog posts. You want to be sharing it, you know, on your Instagram profile. You want to be sending it out in your newsletter. So the more people that are linking to your shop from different areas, that's when Google or the search engine of your choice says, hey, you know, this is a worthy link that other people would probably click on that have entered the same search results, and that's how you kind of ascend the ranks. So one other thing I wanted to mention, not to worry if you've just opened your shop and you search your shop and it doesn't pop up on Google yet. It definitely takes some time for Google to scrape the internet, the interwebs. It totally is like, I feel like I'm talking about the Matrix now, but literally crawlers will crawl the internet every so often. They can't do it 24/7 to get to your corner of the internet. But once your shop is up, active, you've got people linking back to it, that's when Google or the search engine that you know, your shoppers are using will say, hey, you know, this is a trusted live link, live shop, and so why don't you check it out? So, oh my gosh, we just ticked over 20 minutes. We had so much to cover today, but if you happen to dodge out or if you happen to miss the very first part of this class, we'll totally send this out to you in 24 hours. We really so appreciate your time. We did it. Like, SEO and promoting your shop is no small thing. And we promise to have more classes about this in the future. This was a super popular class. So thank you so much for being here. Again, if you ever need any help with any of this, you can hit our help site at help.bigcartel.com. Again, blog.bigcartel.com, especially that promote tag, is a great way to really delve into the shop promotion realm. And then again, you can always just reach out to us at support. You can email us at support@bigcartel.com, or you can also click the little chat bubble in your shop's admin. And a friendly member of our support team will absolutely help you out as soon as we can. So again, my name is Lauren. You all rule for being here. Thank you so much. I've been joined by Mary, who has been a total star answering everything in the chat. But just look out for emails from us in the future. We also have a live class page if you're interested in more classes in the future at help.bigcartel.com. Just type live classes in the search bar and you can sign up for classes in the future. Thanks so much for joining us today and have a lovely day. Thank you.